Hello and welcome to this video. Now this is going to be a PhD update video, so feel free to skip this video. I won't mind at all, I promise. Don't mind if there's any background noise. I'm literally doing this in the morning. There's lots of people going in and out. So next Wednesday I have my PhD Viva, and for some reason I thought it was on Friday. So I have to prepare for my PhD Viva, and I felt really compelled to make this video kind of as a video diary, and I'm going to do one after the Viva and my thoughts about the Viva and how it went. Am I feeling nervous for my Viva? I don't necessarily think so. Just because I've written my PhD thesis, I know exactly how to answer the questions. And just yesterday I was thinking of not preparing at all, but I think that's a really stupid idea, especially because the PhD Viva is such an important part of my PhD. And I met with my supervisor yesterday and he told me to make a presentation just in case they ask for it. So I'm going to do that, and I just thought I'd make this video to talk about a few things about my PhD life. So actually I was offered a job to go to America as a postdoctoral researcher. So after a PhD you actually can get a position which is quite similar to a PhD, as in you're a postdoctoral research assistant, so you work your way up in the academia rungs or the rungs of the ladder. And this was in America, so Kansas, which is basically exactly in the middle of United States of America. And I was quickly to say no to this opportunity, even though it's a very cool opportunity. And of course living alone is so fun, especially in a country that is like completely different from the country I was raised in, obviously England, but they speak English, which means it's very compatible in terms of like just adjusting to the new climate. As a kid I've always wanted to move to America and work in America, like somewhere like New York or Washington, but when it came down to it I was quick to say no to this opportunity. And that's because I kind of feel like London is my home and I want to build upon what I've already established in London. I want to buy property here, I want to live the rest of my life here, I want to have a family here. And this is in stark contrast with other people who are in their 20s who, given such an opportunity like this, they might actually jump for it. Yes, I'm in my late 20s, I'm 28 now, and I feel like I'm quite silly to not have thought further about this opportunity, because right now I'm single, I don't have any attachments, I don't have any responsibilities, so this could be a perfect opportunity for me. But however, I feel like the justifications were the fact that it's not the perfect state, like Kansas near Missouri is like almost nothing there. I really do like a metropolitan area, such as London, like a big fat city, maybe Los Angeles, New York. I really like having lots of people. I just don't know why I've always been attracted to that. So the idea of moving to the middle of nowhere is just does not sit well with me. That being said, even if I was offered an opportunity in somewhere like New York, I would have to think it through very, very carefully. As you get older, I feel like you become less adventurous. I mean, technically I'm not that old, but I feel a lot older than I am. So as you get older, you feel a lot less adventurous. So this is a good story to tell you. And hopefully if you ever get the opportunity to move to a new country and start a new life or whatever, you would think it through a bit more than I did. So that being said, I do have my Viva next Wednesday, and I kind of wanted to actually make this video so I can practice what I'm going to say in terms of defending my thesis. So most of you might not know what a PhD Viva is. It's essentially you have your thesis already, it's printed and it's submitted to the examiners. They read through it, and now you have to actually defend your thesis. The examiners are looking to see if you actually know what you're talking about, how well you've done the research behind it, and is your work worthy of gaining a PhD, which is a doctorate and the highest level of qualification in pretty much the whole world in terms of education. Of course, you can feel free to skip this video, but now I'm going to off the cuff try to explain like my thesis properly, and I've never done it before. So I'm going to start. It's a bit nerve-wracking, but okay. So my PhD is titled The Tailored Production of Small Diameter Fibers for Wound Healing Applications. Essentially, healthcare providers spend so much money, so billions annually, on treating wounds. So wounds can be anything from superficial wounds, burns, ulcers, and even chronic wounds. Chronic wounds are basically wounds that last a lot longer, and essentially they require a lot more care and attention, and sometimes they even need hospital beds. And these hospital beds are then taken from people who are more ill, maybe they have cancer or something like that. So essentially wound care costs medical providers billions annually, and there is a necessity to get better wound healing care that is cheaper. So basically if you cut yourself or you have some sort of wound, you go to the hospital and they'll give you like a gauze or a bandage. These are very basic materials and they don't necessarily improve the quality of healing, they don't improve the speed of healing, and one of the main disadvantages is the fact that they don't actually prevent infection. So microbial infection, not just microbial, viral infection and fungal infections, cause so much money loss in healthcare providers, because now they have to attend to the wound, they have to get rid of the infection, and infection is one of the biggest reasons why lots of surgical procedures actually fail. So now that you know that there is a need for advanced wound care that is both increasing the quality of healing and have some sort of antimicrobial power, my thesis is about producing fibers. So these fibers can be produced by many different techniques, such as electrospinning, which uses a high voltage electric supply to produce fibers from a polymer solution, and also things like pressurization, which uses a high-speed motor with a applied external gas pressure to extrude polymers through the orifices and create fibers. So small diameter fibers are very useful. So as you can imagine, fibers are things just like hair, so they have a long cross section compared to the actual body. So they're basically long and have a large cross section. The thinner the fibers, the higher the surface area to volume ratio, and this gives it so many different beneficial characteristics for use in biomedical applications, such as wound healing. So as you can imagine, most bandages are made of fibers. So essentially, my thesis looks into the fiber manufacturing processes such as electrospinning and pressurization, looks into how all the different operating parameters work. So if you change the operating voltage here, if you change the rotation speed here, how can we actually tailor the fibers? So by changing these operating parameters, we can actually fine tune how the fibers come out and therefore have their intended application in certain biomedical applications such as wound healing, such as drug delivery, tissue engineering, and antimicrobial filtration. Whew. So by completely understanding these fiber manufacturing processes and optimizing their production processes, we can build advanced wound care products from a large range of polymeric sources. So polymers both naturally derived, such as chitosan, such as collagen and DNA and things like that, have inherent properties that are very biocompatible, which meaning that if you put them into the body, the body will not reject it. So by utilizing these many different polymers, both synthetics such as polycaprolactone, such as polyester, we can create bandages that not only are antimicrobial and can increase the quality of healing, but we can produce them at a much cheaper rate, which means that they can be used for more people. If you know anything about finance and industries and manufacturing processes, the cheaper you can produce your goods, the cheaper it will be to the end consumer. And in this case, the end consumer is actually the hospitals, the healthcare providers. So basically, when we have a cut and we need a bandage, we go to the pharmacy, and these bandages are very cheap. If they were expensive, no one would buy them, right? So essentially, my thesis is looking at fiber manufacturing processes, optimizing them to produce advanced wound care bandages using a number of different synthetic and natural polymers to produce bandages that offer good value to the healthcare providers. So that's a mouthful. So I'm gonna obviously go over that and polish that because that was just off my head. Like I said, I did write the whole thesis myself, so I should be able to, off the top of my head, just talk about it. I really don't like planning things, but I think that I really do need to plan for this PhD Viva. So hopefully things go well, touch wood, and I'll give you an update after my Viva and tell you how it went. If you've got this far in the video, you're amazing. Thank you for watching. Wait, I'm gonna say that again in the end, but yeah, as always, thank you for watching.